Hi, welcome. Come on in. My name is Alexis Audette, and I'm the founder and creative director of Mazy Path. And I'm thrilled to share our debut collection with you today, Community Garden. Plants are my muse. I love them for their formal beauty, for their myriad shapes, their negative space, their incredible color variation. And I also think that plants make our lives better and our planet inhabitable. They oxygenate the air, they protect our coastlines, they capture carbon, they open our minds, they nourish our bodies. Plants are really the gift of life. I also have a passion for lino-cut prints. Printmaking to me feels very personal. I think the artist Wayne Thiebaud summed it up best when he talked about prints having a unique, emotional, and expressive quality. And he said it's because they're so close to drawing and they're so close to the human touch. To me, prints really have a sense of soul. As I develop my designs, I look to early modernism for inspiration. I'm really captivated by how this period in Western art history starts to move from figurative to abstract. The work is still representational, but you start to see changes, a flattening in perspective, in line, in color, and it gives the work a whole new sense of energy. There are certain artists and designers who come from this era also who I look to again and again for inspiration. As a leader of the arts and crafts movement, William Morris was very concerned in his day about how industrialization had led to exploitation of workers, degradation of the environment, and stark inequality. And those are all issues, of course, that pertain today as well. And William Morris believed that through responsible production and through craft, artists and designers could change the world in a positive way. And I feel the same way. So for that reason, we only work with local manufacturers. Our wallpaper printer is located in Connecticut. Their workforce is 90% female, and they print on FSC certified clay-coated paper. We only work with banks that do not finance the fossil fuels industry, and we're committed to supporting the Sunrise Movement. This is a youth-led community organizing group that advocates for political action to address the climate crisis and broader issues of environmental justice. So when I'm developing my designs, I like to think about what kinds of spaces Mazy Path designs will occupy. And the kinds of interiors, whether residential or commercial, that I always like to picture are really inhabited by the spirit of, I would say, a Joseph Frank strain of modernism, one that celebrates warmth and comfort and color. These spaces are layered, they are eclectic, they have stories to tell. There's a sense of history, and they feel very personal. I also think these spaces have a little bit of whimsy. They tend to have an abundance of plants and animals. They're lively, they have vitality. They are spaces where people entertain and spend time with family, and spaces that are really a joy to spend time in. Community Garden explores interdependent relationships between plants, animals, and people. What I'd love to do is take you through my creative process from really inception to execution through the development of the design Pawpaw. So I stumbled across this amazing book by Andrew Moore, and it's called Pawpaw: In Search of America's Forgotten Fruit. As soon as I saw that, I thought, well, what is a pawpaw and why has America forgotten it? So I began to read and learned that a pawpaw is America's largest tropical native fruit. It grows in and around Appalachia. It plays host to a variety of different animals: the yellow-billed cuckoo, the zebra swallowtail butterfly, the sphinx moth. And pawpaw is known for its wonderful flavor. It has hints of vanilla, caramel, mango. The pawpaw is also known for having some very special properties. It lends itself to organic farming because it naturally and inherently repels pests, and it has cancer-fighting properties. So when the pawpaw is so special, why don't more people know about it? The one thing about the pawpaw is that it has a short ripening season and a very short shelf life, so it's never been commercialized. But there are some farmers who are concerned with native plants, with organic farming and regenerative agriculture, who are trying to cultivate the pawpaw. Once I read Moore's book, I knew that I had to do a pattern about the pawpaw. And a print by John James Audubon helped me figure out how to do it. This is a print that Audubon did of the yellow-billed cuckoo for his masterwork, Birds of America. Here you can see not only the yellow-billed cuckoo, but these pendulous forms of the pawpaw, the tear-shaped leaves with all of their signature ridges. You can see the branches and the pattern on the bark. You can even see butterflies and insects. Audubon has really given us the world of the yellow-billed cuckoo and the pawpaw while he's at it. And so that, for me, provided a roadmap of the kind of detail I wanted to have in my pattern. The whole pawpaw story really struck me because it made me think about how many precious things are out there in the natural world that we don't even know about, and all the more reason to preserve the natural world. So once I have my motifs at hand, then I start drawing. And I start sketching pretty lightly until I've figured out or gotten the motifs just right, and also figured out my repeat, and I've resolved the repeat. Once I feel happy with those things, then I start to go over everything with heavy charcoal. And the reason I do this is because the charcoal transfers easily from paper onto a rubberized linoleum block. For me, carving is really quite meditative. You have to be very, very focused. You don't want to make a mistake, so you really have to have your head in the game. Once I've finished carving the blocks, then they are ready to print. Now, I'm using my hands because, unlike many people who might use various implements, a wooden spoon is a common tool, I actually print with my hands. And the reason for this is because by applying different amounts of pressure in different areas with my fingertips, I can get very different types of marks. So if I apply heavy pressure, the print will become very dark and opaque. If I apply light pressure, I have a really snowy textural impression that has a whole different feeling. So by using my hands, I can actually get a lot of variety in the type of print I'm creating. At this stage of the process, up to now everything has been made by hand, but this is where I cross into the digital domain. I use Photoshop to create colorways. And the first thing I do is develop my own little palettes. I'm coming up with color combinations that might be analogous, or they might be complementary, they might be high contrast. But these are just all combinations that I feel are pleasing and embody the spirit of the pattern and of the collection and the brand. Then I have to convey direction to the mill, and so I use color chips, paint chips, to indicate exactly what shades I'm looking for. Once I've sent color direction to the mill, then they send me back strike-offs, and we whittle down together to the best results. I choose to work with a mill that uses digital printers to print my wallpapers for two reasons. For one, digital printing really captures so well the subtle textures and the rich tonalities of lino cuts, so it's a great fit for my medium. But I also appreciate that digital printing can eliminate a lot of waste. My wallpapers are made on demand, so only the amount of yardage that a client might need is printed when an order comes in. So thanks so much for joining me in my studio and for your interest in Mazy Path. If you would like to learn more about Mazy Path, please visit our website at mazypath.com or visit our New York showroom, Temple Studio. You can also visit templestudiony.com. Thanks again.